Consistency, episode 233. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the Firm Differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and today it's my birthday. Well, at least when this episode is being released, August 3rd. It's my birthday, and when I started thinking about what do I want to record for this episode, I said, you know what can I do that's specifically related to my birthday? And then I started to think about the birth of things and when things first start. And I immediately started to think of my business and then the businesses of all the law firm owners that I work with, because everything starts somewhere. There's always a beginning, and everything from that beginning is a journey. And if I start to look at my journey and I start to look at where I was successful, where I was not successful, what are the things that I did well, and where are the things that I faltered with? And when I look at the big picture and I look at the big things, there's one common denominator that I find in the things that I achieved real, legitimate, true success with, and the ones that I kind of never really mastered. And that common denominator is consistency. I consistently was there for my children. I consistently showed up as a dad, and therefore I have beautiful children, wonderful children who love me and I love them, and a great relationship with them because I was a dad all the time, good, bad, or ugly, day in, day out, never faltered. I was there for my kids. And that was consistency. That required me to continue day in, day out putting in the deposits into the bank, putting in the effort to produce that eventual result. And the other thing that's interesting when we look at consistency, and the first place I went is my kids, so let's stay there for a moment. What's very interesting is that the result is not immediate, right? I look at my older girls now. They're 22, 20, and 19. And I've got the little ones, 5 and 4. But, the older ones, they're grown. They're adults now, right? Pretty much. And the end result is only still yet to come, right? How they're going to live their lives, up until now was me raising them, was me getting them ready for adulthood. Now is when I get to see the fruits of my labor. I get to see what kind of amazing people they become. So it took consistent action for 20 years on faith that at the end, there's going to be a positive outcome. There's going to be a positive result. There's going to be something that I'm excited about, that I'm happy to share with the world. When we take consistent action, rarely do we get to see immediate feedback, positive feedback that we're doing the right thing. Almost always, we have to take it on faith. Almost always, we have to just believe in the end result that's going to happen. So it's not just consistency that's important, but recognizing that it's consistency without necessarily getting the positive feedback, feeling the achievement or the success. So I think that we need to learn to enjoy the success of the doing, not necessarily the outcome. What do I mean by that? Well, sure, showing up as a dad every day was difficult, but if I stopped every day to enjoy the moments of that effort on that day, that would be enough feedback for me to continue. So what do I mean? Well, if I don't just change my kids' diapers, if I don't just drive my kids to school, but I actually look at the opportunity that I have to be hanging out with my kid, the opportunity that I have to look at them, to see them smile, to watch them grow, to look into their eyes and feel the love coming back at me. That is enough to keep me going, but I have to take the moments to look at that. I have to take the moments to see that. Because if not, if I'm looking for the end result and the end result is not here until the end, then I'm likely to falter. I'm likely to lose that consistency. I'm likely to give up along the way. And I think that's what sets apart people who, like everyone who has a baby, intends to be a good parent. Why are some parents better parents than others? Why are some people, some people are like, oh, you're a natural dad, or I find it so difficult. It's only difficult because you're failing to enjoy the process. You're failing to appreciate the actual action of the doing. So I use my kids as an example because it's near and dear to me, first of all, but it's also something that's very relatable and you can understand. If I had started with your law firm, if I had started with your business or my business, right, it's a lot more theoretical because you haven't necessarily achieved the 20-year-old yet. Whereas in your life, maybe you do have a 20-year-old. Maybe you already understand how I feel, and you can relate to the example that I gave. So when it comes to our business, and we have an intention to achieve a certain level of success or to achieve a certain result, and we realize what we need to do, it requires consistent action. The people who take forever and really never make it are the ones who start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. What do I mean? Well, instead of constantly working on whatever their sales mechanism is, let's say that your sales mechanism is networking. Instead of working on networking for every single day, continuing to build relationships, continuing to keep the ball rolling on how many people do you know, and not just how many know about you, but how many have a true, real relationship with you. What most people do is, oh, I need work, so let me go to a networking event. Let me shake some hands. Let me follow up on some contacts that I had and see if any of it can turn into business. Now I got some clients coming through the door, and now I'm busy serving those clients, so I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop going to networking events. I'm going to stop talking to people until the next need arises, and then I'm going to start again. That lack of consistency is a business killer, not a business grower. The people who succeed, the people who build massively successful businesses are the ones who learn how to take consistent action, how to continue to put in the efforts daily. I'm not talking about showing up to work, because doing the client work, working as a lawyer, is not growing a business. It's working as a lawyer. If you're doing the bookkeeping, you're a bookkeeper. If you're doing the paralegal work, you're a paralegal. If you're doing the filing, you're a file clerk. If you're answering the phone, you're a receptionist. If you want to grow the business, you have to get to a point where other people are doing those things, where you have a bookkeeper, you have a receptionist, you have a file clerk, you have a paralegal, you have an attorney. And those people are doing all the work. Those people are lifting the weights, because that's not the consistent action I'm talking about. Consistently showing up to work is not how you drive business. Consistently working on growing your business, consistently working on the projects necessary to reach your ultimate vision, that is what I'm talking about. And that is where you have to learn to love the process, to love the actions you're taking. You're not going to like everything you do, but you have to be able to look at your business in that moment and enjoy the process of what you're doing right at that moment. The moment that it becomes not enjoyable or not fun to do something, you're going to procrastinate it. You're going to push it off. You're going to lose your consistency. And that is going to slow you down or stop you from achieving your result. Perfect example of something that I'm doing consistently, and I can see the results. Visually, I could see the results. This podcast, I have shown up consistently for you, our audience. Sure, there are times that a Tuesday episode might not get released till a Wednesday. It happens every once in a while, few and far between. And we at one point decided to turn this into a two times a week episode endeavor. So now we do Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're consistent. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, we're releasing an episode. You can count on this podcast. Why is this, it's not a moneymaker for us, right? The podcast is our front end marketing. Why is consistency in the podcast important? Because this is one of my marketing tools. This is one of the ways that I build an audience. This is one of the ways that I have people who know, like, and trust me and want to do business with me because they listen to my show. But it's not just they listen to my show, it's that they come back for more, and they wouldn't keep coming back for more if I wasn't here consistently. By showing up consistently, I am setting a tone of the type of person that I am. I'm setting the tone for expectations. And all of that goodwill builds on itself to the ultimate point where a podcast listener says, I need help. And I've been listening to Moshe for the last 18 months. He can help me. Boom. They join my coaching program. They join the 90-day law firm turnaround program. They join our law firm growth elite, or they join the law firm growth incubator. This is how businesses are built. Businesses are built with consistency, and consistency requires constant action, which requires you to enjoy that action, to not resent it, to not hate it, but to embrace it and to be able to enjoy the moments that you are taking that action. A perfect example where I lack consistency and I have the fruits of that labor to show for it. And I talk about it regularly here on the show. I'm not afraid to. I'm overweight. I'm not in the physical shape that I want to be in. And the reason for that is because I have been inconsistent. I have been a yo-yo dieter. I have zero consistency with how I eat, even on a day-to-day basis. I have zero consistency with my exercise. I'm not proud of it, but I'm sharing it with you because I think that authenticity is important. I think that you understanding that I'm human. I have struggles too. I have demons in my closet, and I need to fight them. But ultimately, I know that I need to show up consistently. The problem is that I don't enjoy not eating something when I want to eat it. I don't enjoy preparing food in advance so that I could eat healthy and at the right times during the day. Although I enjoy exercise, I don't enjoy exercise, right? I'm not one of those people that was always an athlete that just loves to go running and go biking. I enjoy biking, but as a leisurely thing, as a leisurely sport. I don't bike every day, and I don't enjoy biking every day. So if I were to go biking every day, I could learn to enjoy it, but it's not one of those things where I go to sleep and I say, I can't wait to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning so I can throw on my biking shorts and my sneakers and go out on my bike. And therein lies the problem. Therein is exactly why I am not a fit person. I am overweight. I am obese, whatever the medical term you want to use for it. I am 75 pounds minimum over what I should be. And I know I need to lose that weight, but I also know that doing another diet is not the solution for me. Because, I'll get some pounds off, but I won't keep them off. I need to find my way to create consistency in this area of my life. And if you look at your business and you open your soul and you say, am I truly being consistent with the forward momentum activities that I am taking in my business? Am I truly being consistent in my marketing efforts? Am I truly being consistent in the way that I handle leads when they come in? Have I defined a regular process of how I'm going to handle them on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 until they become a client? Do I have a set email sequence that goes out and a set text messaging sequence and a set time that I'm going to call them and follow up with them? If the answer is no to any of those, then you lack consistency in that area. And you need to get consistent. But if you just say, I recognize I need to be consistent, I'm going to go be consistent, it's going to last for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It'll be your yo-yo diet. But when you lose the weight, when you've achieved the result, when you've gotten on track, if you're not enjoying the action, you're going to say, okay, great. I got here. Now I can go back to my old ways. So you need to find the places where you're being inconsistent, and you need to find a way to enjoy the actual activity at the time that you're doing it so that you can create consistency and thereby create success. So, for my birthday, my wish is that I can find in this upcoming year, I can find consistency for my physical health. And I can figure out a way to take consistent action that is in alignment with the way that I want to live and the way that I like to be, as far as, hey, I enjoy food. I want to eat food. Okay, so I probably have to find a way to eat it in moderation, to be maybe not so planned with my meals, but maybe have a plan for my meals. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but my wish is that I can solve this year, that can be something that I become consistent with. And then my wish for you is that you can find the place in your life, whether it's your business, whether it's your personal life. I mean, we didn't talk about marriage. Marriage requires consistency. If you're not consistent with your deposits, your love deposits, the actions that you take, the helping out in the house, the buying gifts and thinking of your spouse, if you don't take consistent action in your marriage, it will eventually fall apart. So, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your business, whether it's with your children, whether it's your own physical health, if you have an area of your life where you struggle with consistency, my wish for you is that you figure out how to find excitement and enjoyment in the action so that you can gain the consistency and really progress in that area of your life. So, folks, thank you so much. Enjoy the week. We will see you on Thursday with another great interview. And I look forward to my next solo episode next Tuesday. If you've been enjoying the show, do me a favor. Give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts or on Google Play or wherever it is that you're listening to us. Give us a rating and review. Really appreciate it. People look for those ratings and reviews to decide whether to listen to the show. So you can actually help us with getting more consistent viewers, more consistent listeners on our show. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend. Share it with somebody that you know can gain from it, because ultimately that's the perfect gift. It's the ultimate gift that you can give is to help somebody else. And in doing so, you'll be helping yourself. You get the satisfaction of knowing you helped somebody, and you'll be helping us by helping us grow the show and the audience base that we have. Folks, take care. Enjoy. We'll catch you in the next one. Have you been enjoying the show? We sure hope so. To make sure you never miss an episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button in your podcast player app. Next week, we will be back with more valuable resources and ideas on how to break the mold and take your law firm to the next level.